Hey, what's going on? I think we're live now. It's Doug Cunnington here, and I'm going to do live keyword research. I'm going to use a tool called KW Finder, but really you could use any tool you want. I am an affiliate for them, but yeah, I'm not really tied into any one company. So if you like another tool, that's totally cool. Let me know in the chat if you could hear me. I think you probably can. I just heard myself, and the mastermind says hello, everyone. Give me a shout in the chat. Let me know where you're from. And what we're going to do, you can feed me keywords if you want, where I could find other keywords sort of in the related niche, or I'm just going to go random with a couple things that I'm interested in. So I did this the other day. People kind of liked it. I'll probably do some other stuff like this where I'm using maybe different tools and that sort of thing. But I just threw it together quick because I thought, hey, it's Friday. I don't have a ton of stuff planned. Actually, I clear out my schedule on Friday, so I usually don't have much going on. One thing I need to do to save my voice is make sure I don't have to yell. You can hear me. You can hear me pretty good right here. So Jacqueline's on, Adil is on, and Jacqueline's right out of Pittsburgh. That I was late. I was like trying to make sure I could share my screen just right. We're going to switch screens here, and it looks like we got a handful of people on. So we're just going to get moving here. I do want to give a shout out to myself in that I just published 7 new videos on the keyword golden ratio. So there's a link in the description to the playlist, but if you really want to help out, you can go just to my channel. And if you see one of those new videos, which they kind of have the same thumbnail, click on the thumbnail. You know, watch the video, comment. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. I see David on as well and Flying Pirate. So appreciate all the support, everyone. But yeah, watch those videos, and I'll explain later some of the stuff later, sometime in the future, probably not even today, why I'm doing that and the results of all of that. So I think over time, people are going to hopefully check out those videos. Hopefully it's going to show up in the search. So I will start sharing my screen here. And if anyone has a niche, you want me to find some keywords for you, 1 or 2. I don't know how it's going to turn out because we're doing it live. That's part of the fun. All right, what are we doing here? I want to share the screen, and good. All right, so far so good. And now let me zoom out because that's actually not everything. So, just for fun, while I'm waiting for some recommendations here, we got Noor, we got Vivek from India, Noor is from out of Pakistan, Flying Pirates out of Miami. So good representation across the world here. And I just, for fun, put in keyword golden ratio, which is pretty cool. From nowhere, from a thing that didn't exist before, now there's 820 searches per month apparently. The KD number's 24, which is funny. I lost my rankings for that. I used to rank number 1. You see with KW Finder, you can see that I no longer rank number 1. You see I'm ranking number 2. But number 1 is actually a blog post, a guest post that I wrote myself. I keep looking at that camera, but we switch. Yeah, so I wrote the first post, and then the other ones, of course, on my site. And then, yeah, you got other people that have popped up here. And, you know, this allentitled.co, they're catching up. But yeah, there's a lot of different keywords out here. And it's kind of funny. So this is just a few related keywords, not much going on. What is for keyword golden ratio tool? I wonder what pops up there. Old KW Finder, man, cool tools that are outranking me still. So that's not the worst thing in the world. And the cool thing is, I've mentioned it before, I don't charge for anything. I don't have any software products. I have no courses associated with KGR. It's just a thing, and I give it away. All right, I'm going to tweak something here and just make it US. I'm going to change it to English there, and maybe some of the search volumes are going to change up. And indeed, so keyword golden ratio is now 160. So, all right, if you want me to look up some keywords, let me know. Okay, Vivek says sports niche, but I need you to go a little deeper. I need you to give me something a little more specific, or I'm going to find something that's not helpful or relevant. So if you have like some products that you're thinking of, then let me know of those. One thing that I've been searching for lately, I watch YouTube videos. Watch a lot of YouTube videos myself as a creator, but I don't watch like marketing stuff really. I have been watching a lot of like the van camping and or what do you call it? Just like not living in your car, but that sort of thing, right? So that sort of car camping and just conversions. So one thing that I was looking up was like essentially it's a DIY like truck camper, because I have an F-150 and that's sort of a full-time or full-size truck. So there's kind of plenty of room back there, and I've seen people, build their truck out, even with a short bed. I got a standard bed, which is 6.5 feet. So there's actually quite a bit of room in there. So DIY truck camper. We see, okay, some people are popping in with some more niches, so they're narrowing it down. Okay, cool. I'm going to come back to that. So we have DIY truck camper, and a lot of these are pretty low competition overall, as reported by the KD. But what I see here with a DIY truck camper, it's like Pinterest, Wild We Wonder. So some of these, this actually seems pretty good, but Pinterest is on here a lot. I see it for the first, fourth, and fifth positions. So kind of interesting, but I think that could be an area. And the thing is, and I'm going to hop over and get to some of these. I'm going to write down, and I'm going to try and do a few of these over the next, 50 minutes or so. So DIY truck camper, but as I said, I have an F-150, so you could start narrowing it down to all these different kind of cars, trucks, as it were. So then, interesting enough, the KD number goes up, but there's very few searches for it. So as we go down, you'll notice a lot of times I'm going to find keywords, kind of start broad, and then see if I can make it more specific. A lot of times those are going to be easier to rank. So I'm going to go in the order in which like whatever you guys are telling me here. So Vivek mentioned sports and baseball. Okay. Sports and baseball. And then Abhishek says gaming keyboard. All right. Air fryers for David. All right, and then we have prefab home, and I'll do as many as I can. I'll try not to ramble on too much, and hopefully what we'll learn here is, one, it takes a while. You have to struggle through this. You can't always just find keywords right off the bat, and what happens is as you look more and more, and maybe take a break, I encourage people to take breaks whenever you need them, but you'll find that you maybe hit a dead end, go take a walk, come back the next day, look again. You'll find some other keywords. Your brain will be working in the background, hopefully, and you'll be able to find other keywords and go down other rabbit holes, essentially. You may find maybe a YouTube channel, maybe a forum or competitors where you're going to be able to find just a lot more keywords than you did initially. So as we get started here, we're looking for sports stuff for Vivek, baseball. So as a non-athlete, or actually non-athlete, non-sports fan, non-baseball fan, I'm going to be grasping at straws here. So we'll say, and I'm going to look for like buyer's keywords. So I'm going to say just random stuff that I am thinking of. So best baseball, we'll say maybe cleats. Cleats, that's not how you spell it. Cleats for, we'll just put best baseball cleats and see what comes up there. All right, so 1,100 searches per month. It looks relatively, okay. We have the KD number here. And because, I really like the KW Finder layout where you have the SERP overview, so I don't have to go Google it. it's right here. And it looks like there's a lot of affiliate sites just based on, when you do this enough, you start to see the domain names that seem to be affiliate sites, or makes me think that. So Dugout Debate, Shoe Advisor, Baco Sports, Dick's Sporting Goods, so that's this big store. Run Repeat is on there twice. So funny enough, that actually, I have a hunch that that's probably an e-commerce store, and they're cannibalizing. I bet if they got rid of one of those, like this catalog, I bet they would rank number one, or at least much higher. And what happens when we're doing the chat is fantastic. You guys help me out a lot. So I'm going to dig in a little bit more for the baseball cleats, but David has a great suggestion: best baseball glove for left-handers. So again, a lot of times I'll start broad and then I'll make it like a specific application. And for this, I'm going to put, actually, I'm just going to do the autocomplete. So this is going to take a second here to run the autocomplete. It apparently does it live, and we're going to hopefully get some decent suggestions where it starts with best baseball cleat, and then it'll have some other qualifiers in there. Maybe it'll be a brand, maybe it'll be for a specific kind of user or a specific application, which I think we're already doing with the baseball thing, but we'll see what comes up. All right. Okay, this is perfect. And I think this is exactly what Vivek's looking for. So best baseball cleats for ankle support, Achilles tendonitis, artificial turf, with arch support, for bad ankles, and for pitchers, for wide feet. You could probably do narrow feet. We have bunions. So Vivek, you're welcome. Go check out the cleats, and there's probably like 30 keywords on here. So boom. All right, so that's a successful one. Let's move on to gaming keyboard. Gaming keyboard. I wrote keyword. My brain just puts those together no matter what. Anything that starts with key should end with word. We're doing the auto suggest here, so it takes a second for the auto suggest. And anyone have big plans for the weekend here? What's going on? What's going on out there? I'll try not to slurp my drink in here. I have matcha tea right now, matcha. So I drink a lot of coffee, and I woke up just excessively early this morning. I woke up at like 4. Couldn't fall back to sleep, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get up. I got a couple things to do. I don't wake up that early that often anymore, but a lot of times if I wake up and it's like relatively close to when I normally would get up, I'm usually better off if I just get up and go to bed early. Okay, so we got several here. I think it's fairly competitive, so we may have to dig a little bit here. We have best gaming keyboard and mouse combo. So 900 searches per month, 25 KD. We have best gaming keyboard and mouse for PS4, which has fewer searches at 70, but it seems to be less competitive, as reported by the KD here. And as I look through, it's hard to, this actually could be more competitive than the 22 Reflex. And a lot of that is based on some of this other stuff. But when we look at, for example, let me zoom in here. Let's zoom in. So it's great to have the KW Finder. Anybody use KW Finder? It's great to have this section right here. So it really does save you time. And we have make use of, and EasyVid, and then WEPC, which are all, those are fairly high DA. The PA is relatively high. They don't have a ton of links, so that's good. And we have Streamer Builds, which looks to be a relatively young site. We have 2 Amazon paid or products showing up here. One of them appears to be search, and then the other one is, I'm not going to click on it here, but it looks like it's the product. Anyway, there's at least 2 or 3 sites on here that don't look so powerful. So we have the Tech of Era, which has it looks to have no links. We have Steamer Builds. So these don't look too bad, and that indicates that you potentially could rank with a newer site. So if you have an older site or maybe one that has some links, then maybe you're in good shape. All right, let's look at a couple more. Best keyboard and mouse under 50 and under 100. So those are a little more expensive, and you kind of run, I got to zoom back out. I got to remember to zoom out. Those kind of run the risk of potentially making Amazon mad. And you don't want to make Amazon mad. The thing is, when you indicate a price range, it's kind of a gray area. They may get, depending on who's auditing, like they may not like that. So as we scroll down, I don't know much about some of these others, but best gaming keyboard with brown switches. So I think that's like the mechanical switch stuff. And that potentially could be a good one to go after, even though there's only 10 searches. When you get into mechanical keyboards, I went down this rabbit hole at one point. They're more expensive. And if people are like weird enough to start looking at mechanical keyboards and the switches and all that stuff, then there's a chance that they're going to spend a lot of money on it. And I'm a slow typer, so me just getting like a mechanical switch thing is just like to make noise. It's like, actually that's one thing I should probably do next year is just all right, I'm going to try to type faster and actually work on it. And for people that don't know, let me switch screens and just talk for a second here, not about keyword research, but in, I think it was like 2013, 2014, I switched over to another keyboard layout. It's called Dvorak. It's actually pronounced Dvorak, I think. But if I'm already telling you about typing with a different keyboard than QWERTY, that's already weird. So I don't need to sound even more pretentious by pronouncing it with the seemingly correct pronunciation. I've been corrected. My wife is like, oh, it's Dvorak. He was a conductor. Different dude. But anyway, with the other keyboard layout, I switched. I heard Matt Mullenweg, the founder of WordPress, on the Tim Ferriss podcast, and he talked about changing over to Dvorak. And essentially the keys are laid out in a way that you don't have to move your fingers as much. So the very common keys, the common letters that you would type all the time, are in the home position. They're right under your fingers. So vowels, they're under your fingers, except for, what is that one? I. So they're under your fingers, and you have I. Y is very close by, so you don't have to worry about that. Weird punctuation that you don't use that often, like a semicolon. Well, that's farther away. That's like under your left pinky. So anyway, there's other keyboard formats out there, and the stats are something like you will move your fingers something like 70% less by using Dvorak versus the QWERTY keyboard. So the point is, I type slow. I type really slow. I switched over, and I think I got up to maybe like 50 to 60 words per minute or something. But it took like a year. It took me forever. I went from probably about 50 or 60 words per minute down to, I would say, 15 or so. I mean, it was rough for like 6 months. And then at this point, if I use a regular keyboard, I have to like hunt and peck. I don't know where the letters are at. It's the weirdest thing. All right, let's do keyword research again. Let's do this again. All right, so best gaming keyboard switches, something, combo, compact. Maybe that's good. Gaming keyboard that's compact, 10 searches per month. That's a 19. That looks pretty, that's a good one. All right, that'll be easy to rank for you. And Jacqueline asks if this is going to be available later. Yep, so all live streams, as Mastermind said, is they're all out there. So just check it out on the channel. And Jacqueline says, finding keywords is easy. Knowing what to do with them is not. So yeah, that could be another live stream sometime where I find the keyword and then maybe like outline the content, right? Like actually writing it would potentially, I don't think I could do it on a live stream because it would just be boring. I maybe could record it, but having a distraction with the chat is pretty tough. All right, one more, this Cherry MX Red. So, oh, that's very competitive. Is that a specific brand or something? Huh. I thought the Cherry was like the Switch type. Cherry MX. red. Wow. 52 people like that one. All right, moving on. Air fryers. Okay, so with what we learned before, I'm going to actually switch back over to related keywords. So, because autocomplete just takes a little bit longer. And we'll do best air fryer. See what we come up with here. Okay. So it's telling me best air fryer has 180,000 searches. Wow, people really love air fryers. How about that? All right, we're going to have to go a different route. Actually, let's do the autocomplete here, even though I said don't need to worry about it. And Udessa says, what's my favorite camping/hiking location? So I'll mention the Rocky Mountain National Park because there's a ton of places around there. A decent amount of it's actually they opened back up, but they closed the road because it's way up high and it's snowy. There's probably several feet of snow on the road up there, but there's a ton of places to hike down lower. Great spots. All right, so best air fryer and toaster oven and pressure cooker. A lot of these look fairly competitive just right off the bat. A lot of these look like recipes. So best air fryer baked potatoes. So people are probably looking for recipes in that capacity. So we have broccoli, we have chicken. Let's try to be, I'll have to think about this. Electric range, French fries. All right. So I'm going to filter. Okay. So I'm going to go over here to filter. And so we have, it must include best already. So I guess that was in there. And we can get rid of all of these, which must have been doing some wrapping keyword research. So best, and I'm going to put in, I don't know if this is going to be a great way to do it, but I'm going to put in 4. So I want to have a specific application in there and see what we come up with. And I may need to do I need to refresh? Okay, it's redoing it here. All right, it takes a second. And then I'll mention another great place to hike around here is St. Vrain State Park. It's only a few minutes away, and I have a state, like an annual state park pass. It's great there and super easy to get to. There's several, all right, so that didn't work for some reason. So let's try this filter stuff again. So, okay, so instead, I'm going to do a search volume. We're going to make it a max of 500. So that'll get rid of some of actually, let's make it, now that I'm looking at those, let's make it 200. So we're really looking at lower competition. I'm going to get rid of the keyword difficulty there just so we could see it all. And then set filter. And why is it already filtering? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think we're in good shape. All right, and then I'm going to sort it by the search volume, so potentially we could find some stuff. Okay, best air fryer under $50. So says 11. It looks like we potentially have some affiliate sites. There's some big players in here, but it looks like there's a few affiliate sites in the mix. Yep, and we can see like very low. This LPS is the link profile strength. All right, so let's scroll down. Best oven fryer with rotisserie. I think that's probably a pretty good one. That's a good one there for you, David. Okay, for one person, that looks like it's pretty legit as well. And you could maybe look for stuff in that frame of mind. So best air fryer for family of 4, family of 6, something like that. Here's another good one with a stainless steel basket with a dehydrator. So we're qualifying the specifics in this situation. So some of the other stuff, like when we were looking at the baseball, the baseball applications, those were for specific applications, player types, different issues that a player may be having. And this, it seems to be feature based. So we got stainless steel basket, dehydrator. I don't have one of these devices, so I don't know like what things or features would be on them. Oh, for a turkey. So that one's a little more competitive at a KD of 30. That's the keyword difficulty. And okay, cool. I think we found a couple there. So for prefab home, let's get some input from the live audience, because I am not sure what to look for with a prefab home. So I'll just put in best. We'll go to related keywords first. So best prefab home, and we'll just see what comes up here. So modular homes seems to be a little bit more popular of a keyword, the more common phrase. I have a feeling those are pretty similar. People are talking about the same thing, but there may be more of a difference than I realize. So best modular home builders, best prefab cabins. So are we talking like actual prefab homes, or are we talking about things to furnish them with or something specific? I just don't know. So if you want me to do some research for you, you got to give me a little bit more, especially if it's something I don't know anything about, which potentially is most things. So we have best prefab homes under 100K. So you end up with 20 searches per month, and it looks like it's relatively something you can go after. So we have prefabreview.com. So potentially, you can go there and check that out, modularhomeowners.com. But the prefab review looks like potentially it's an affiliate type site. And actually, let's check out some more features here from the old KW Finder. And I don't remember if I wrote it in the description, but I think you save like 10% if you use my coupon code, which you could hunt around and find that over on nichesiteproject.com/resources. Okay, so one thing you could do is, we have the SERPs over here. You could just click on it and it will open up that site. It'll open up that page that is ranking. So reviews, best of, state guides, and the podcast. So this could be a pretty well-established site. Another cool thing you can do with KW Finder is they have this extension here, and basically you can see some data. So we have the domain authority, page authority, 51 referring domains. So this site looks really good, but it doesn't seem to be as authoritative as like what it looks like. It could be, but I'm not sure. So this could be a great niche, whoever mentioned it, just because obviously these things are pretty expensive. These are pretty expensive. Best prefab homes, prefab cabins. Oh, look at all those solar panels up there. That's cool. Method homes versus living homes. Don't know what that means. Yeah, it looks like they have a YouTube channel. They have a podcast, it says right here. So like with all this stuff, it definitely seems like they have a lot of things going on. And they have 17 episodes, which, that's pretty beginner, like overall. I think they say people hit the wall. I've heard it be 7 episodes, where someone will do 7 episodes of a podcast and then they just fade out. I think they call it podcast fade. Is that a thing? And then I've also heard like around 20. I've never researched it. I just heard someone say that once. So I haven't seen anything else about this prefab home stuff. So I'm going to stop here, but it looks like a pretty decent niche just because they're so expensive. And I would suggest potentially, if you're going this route, you may be able to hone in on a specific area like tiny homes, or when we opened up, I was talking about people converting their primary automobile to some sort of a camper so they can do car camping or live like in their car. And one of the ones that I found, again, I saw like a YouTube channel. I watched some outdoor stuff, and I think some people were camping or something, and then there was this guy in Alaska, and I think he had either an F-250 or an F-350. So these are like big full-size trucks, like very large diesel, 7.2 liter. They're made to haul stuff. And he built essentially a little cabin on the back. There's not a ton of room, but there's more than you would think. And he lives in there full time. So he's able to drive around Alaska, and he even has like a little wood burning stove in there. It's put together in a safe way, but a wood burning stove puts off so much heat. I don't know if anyone has stayed in a cabin or any kind of, sort of remote outdoor structure where you do have a cast iron or, high performance, like wood burning stove. It puts out a ton of heat. You don't have to burn that much wood, but if it's enclosed and well insulated, it's great. Anyway, the dude has like a sink in there, his bed, other storage, and a little chimney. And there's even like a little back deck, his porch that's covered. It rains a lot in Alaska. So anyway, you could sort of specify and go down a area, really niche down initially, and then you can broaden as you go. So we're going to move on to another set of keywords, and I see someone else is mentioning smart switch for bedroom. Didn't we do this the other day? Did we do this already? Best smart switch. All right. So next one, and if we don't get more, then we'll finish it up and call it a day. So someone just said camera, which is very broad. So luckily, I actually know about cameras, so I'm going to help you out. So I'll put in best DSLR for. Actually, I won't put 4. I'll just put best DSLR. See what we come up with. While that's pulling up, Usama says, how to pick the blog title. I usually use the keyword as a blog title. Yep, that's pretty much the way to go. You may pepper in some other stuff. So as you can see, it's pretty competitive overall, but here's where we can lean into the specific application and that sort of thing. So I'm going to pop back into the filter. So we're using the most broad keyword search. So we have best DSLR, and then we're going to filter it so that we end up with something potentially a little more attainable just overall. So we'll do a minimum search volume of 500, and we'll leave it at that and see what happens. So when you narrow it down, don't narrow it down too much initially. Just go broad and just slowly narrow it down from there. And I see that, like Udessa says best smart switch for bedroom with Alexa. So do you want me to find more keywords around that? It seems like you've already nailed it down, like very specific. And then Mohit says best memory foam shoes for plantar fasciitis. So again, that seems very specific already. Those look like good keywords. But do you want me to do more, or are you just sharing some keywords? Okay. Best DSLR, we've narrowed it down. I'm going to sort it by search volume just to see what happens. And we have a lot of Best Buy stuff. So if people search that, they don't really want to find your site. They want to find Best Buy, obviously. Hopefully, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and put an exclude filter on Best Buy. So I don't even want to know any keywords that have Best Buy in them because it's not helpful. And additionally, like anything with 2019 or 2018, like that's pretty much useless. And, we can see the trend, right? So we see the trend line. So if we go to the one with 2019, we'll see, oh yeah, in 2019, that is something people cared about. But of course now, why would anyone do that? Well, they would. They wouldn't, but it still shows up here with 320 searches per month because this is an average. So seemingly though, I don't know why anyone was searching for it in October 2020. It's an accident, right? Someone types it in and then they hit return and they end up searching for a thing that, doesn't make sense. All right. So we have a bunch of different, price point here. So under 1,000, we're potentially going to be able to find some other like price range ones. And you could probably do, 800, 700, 500, 200, whatever. Best DSLR for astrophotography. That's pretty cool. So that's at 29, 310 searches per month. So that's a pretty good one. I see Astro Backyard, Astro Pix. So I think you could probably make a run at this one, especially if you had some other assets, right? So if you're actually into astrophotography, like you probably could get some traffic from Instagram. You probably could have a YouTube channel. I've watched videos on astrophotography. Full frame DSLR, those are expensive, so I bet that's competitive. We got, okay, so 43, and then we have best DSLR for filmmaking. So it's a little more competitive as well. Okay, how about for travel? Ooh, that's competitive. All right. So one thing I'll do here, I'm going to change it over to autocomplete. So it will take a second to pop up. All right. And Bharat says, sir, if all in title value of a keyword is shown 30 and there's only a single Google page with 8 to 10 results, then which value should we consider? If the all in title value for a keyword is 30 and there's only a single page with 8 to 10 results, I would probably use the 30. But if you only see the 10 results, then, maybe you go with that. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that. Myself. Okay. So maybe we're getting into some more. Okay. Best DSLR audio setup. That one's actually more competitive than I expect. We got B&H Photo, Rode, No Film School, Chase Jarvis. Okay. Best DSLR as a webcam. That seems like it could be pretty good. Also pretty competitive. So cameras are a little, seem to be pretty tough just overall. Best DSLR backpack for hiking. Also pretty competitive. So we're not running into a lot of good ones here. All right, let's try some other stuff. Best, we'll say, let's go different. Let's go old school. Best 35 millimeter 4. Let's see what comes up here. All right, Nudesta says, find more best related keywords on best bed risers for adjustable base. Okay, we'll do a couple of those. And okay, best 35 millimeter 4. Okay, so what we're seeing here is like lenses. So this is a totally different angle that you could take, which is great. These potentially will be less competitive because they're so specific. So best 35 millimeter for A7 Mark III is a Sony, and then basically you could go through here and probably find a lot of low comp keywords because they're so specific. Best 35 millimeter film for astrophotography. And then lens. So it's showing as no searches, but people are probably searching for that. And we see borrow lenses. I think that is a rental place. So we see they don't have many links, but they've managed to make it work. So I think there's probably some room on that. And one thing I'll do, I don't want to move from this yet. So best 35 millimeter camera for black and white photography. So it says it's not getting any searches, but it must just be that specific sort of phrasing, because obviously some people are searching for that. Best 35 millimeter lens. So one thing you can do for the lens, for cameras and lenses is just find the different focal lengths. So 35 millimeter is like getting confused with a film, which is what I was aiming for. So we'll say best 24 millimeter 4, and then essentially you could fill in like many different kinds of cameras all over the place. All right. We'll do Udessa's stuff in a second. Fami says content cluster, and I think maybe you were referring to, people could do a content cluster around some of these keywords, even if it's, say, more competitive, maybe. Mohit says, I'm a beginner and you're on a tight. All right. I'm going to focus mostly on keyword research. I don't want to answer like random ask questions like this too much. But Mohit says, I'm a beginner. You're on a tight budget. You can't go for WordPress. So can I start an affiliate site on Blogger? You could, but I wouldn't do it. Save your money and do it the right way. You may be able to get a cheap hosting package somewhere, but I would say it's just going to create more headaches for you. So don't try and take like shortcuts or skimp back too much. I know someone may not have the budget to pay $60 for a year of hosting, but just save up until you can, do side hustle gigs or whatever you need to do. I haven't mentioned it in a while, but you can go out and do like manual labor. That's what I did in like when I was younger, before I was doing like corporate jobs and stuff like that. I like walked around with a lawnmower and asked people if I can cut their grass. Usually if you're like going out there and trying, like people will, they'll help you out. So save up some money and don't try to take so many shortcuts that you're like basically handicapping yourself to a point where it's not going to work out. All right. Oh, and Carl says KW Finder is not loading. You can't get the website to load. I am not sure. Obviously I'm inside here, but I haven't had any issues. Okay. So we're going to look at best bed risers for adjustable. So, and I have to say Udessa, however you say it, sorry. You're feeding keywords that seem to be pretty good already. So I'm not sure. Like you just want other keywords in, and I was going to say, you probably can just find some of the competitors. Whoa, lost my microphone. Find some of your competitors and see what they're publishing content on. So best bed risers, search of 280, KD of 27. Oh, we got Charlie in the house as well. Awesome. Bob says, can I do keyword research on something super competitive like laptops? I can, but we'll see what comes up. But that is usually I would just suggest, I don't even go after super competitive stuff. There's so many other things you could do. So we're looking here, best bed risers for dorms, for college, for a king size bed. So a lot of different options. It's funny, the king size bed showed 50, but it's 29 now. But I do see that we end up with, maybe that's not so bad, because there's several products that pop up here. So no filters are on, but very few keywords are showing up for this one. Let's do autocomplete, or we'll just do best bed riser. Let's see if, no, that didn't really change too much. Let's do autocomplete. That does take a second. And Charlie was just pinging me earlier. Hopefully we'll have him on for an update. I got very busy, Charlie, the last time I said, hey, let's do an update. So It's been a bit, but hopefully we'll be able to do an update for the channel. If you didn't see, I think Charlie back a couple months ago published a ton of content over the course of a few months on a brand new site. So we have bed riser stuff. Okay, so there's more here for a queen bed, for a full-size bed, and I have a hunch there's probably a lot of similar results. We have New York Mag. They really went after the bed riser stuff. Oh, here's something more unique for acid reflux. Okay, here you go. This is what you got. 280 searches per month. We have a KD of 13. Amazon is ranking for the first couple, and I have a hunch that it doesn't say anything about acid reflux. So pretty strong bet. Yeah, we got sensible senior living, and that's, almost no links. Very young site. The DA is too. I mean, it's like a brand new site. So here you got best bed risers for acid reflux. And okay, so Charlie asks, KW Finder versus Ahrefs. I think depending on what you're trying to do, each one has the right, a good solution for you. So as an overall search engine marketing solution, Ahrefs is going to have more. It's a more robust setup. There's a lot more tools. You can audit a site and get kind of a game plan on what you need to work on. You also have probably the best backlink database aside from Google. So for that, it's fantastic. When I'm actually doing keyword research, I do like to use KW Finder, which is cheaper. And that's one of the reasons why I'm using it for these demos. I'm probably going to do other tools that are even, either cheaper or, basically I'm aiming for cheaper stuff just because there's a lot of people who said it. Mohit was like, hey, I don't have much money. I can't even pay for hosting. So it's like, there's no way that he can pay whatever $100+ per month. So that said, if you have the option, use both. The other thing you could do is just use Ahrefs for, let's say you're going to dedicate a couple months to link building and other sort of audit type things, where all those tools, all those things you could do in Ahrefs are useful. So if you know that you're going to be doing that for a little while and you're going to dedicate some time to it and you're not going to be doing as much keyword research, then go for it. That said, Ahrefs some people love to do their keyword research on Ahrefs. And I kind of prefer the dedicated tool. It's almost like, at least in the beginning, I think the keyword tool on Ahrefs was kind of an afterthought. And you can get a ton of data, and it's great to research your competitors. So, yeah, I think if you could afford Ahrefs, it's a very, very good tool. Best bed risers for wheels. So I think we found quite a few. And there's the adjustable base one that you mentioned. So KD of 24. All right. I think someone said you want me to do keyword research on link building. I don't know if I'm going to do that. It's kind of less fun because it's it's just like in marketing. So we could do link. So it's just going to be mostly competitive because anyone writing about link building is a marketer. So it's mostly going to be competitive. If you're doing internet marketing, if you're an internet marketer, then you're competing against other marketers most of the time. Or there's some people who are beginners. Like when I started, I was 6 months in. And then through stubbornness, I'm still here. How to do link building for a website. So we have 10 searches per month. All these are going to be super competitive. Yeah. How to do a link tree. Okay, so maybe that's all right. 10 and then 10 searches per month, and then 22 for a KD number. All right. How to start a link building campaign. All right. How about this? How to do link building with Haro. That way I could plug my course. All right. While that's searching, yeah, I have a course called Haro Link Building. You can go to courses.nichesiteproject.com. It's one of the 3 courses that are available. So you can check it out there. It's very good. People are getting links. There's a what do you call it? There's a whole unit on hiring. So you can outsource the whole thing. And I have a job over the shoulder where I'm like putting the job posting up. I talk about how I like sort through the proposals and the right way to like give the VA what they need so they can do the job. All right, so here's a great one potentially. Anyway, check out that Haro link building course if you want to do link building. And we have how to do link building with Haro. So no searches, but it's a KD of 20. And Ahrefs, speak of the devil, they're ranking number 1. So that one actually would be pretty tough. They have 211 links. I wonder, I mean, they just, being a link building, or not a link building, being a search engine marketing tool company, they have a lot of bloggers reading. So it's like the perfect combo to get a ton of links. All right, we have grow with less. And I mean, generally we see this is something you could rank for. And I have a post on my site, I think, that talks about it, but I need to go and put this title in there. I'm going to do it when we finish up. I'm going to do it when we finish up because it looks like I should be able to potentially rank just with this stuff on here. So in a couple days, check it out, everyone. Check it out. See if I rank. Oh, Carl says, shout out on this. I just found your channel a couple weeks ago and you really appreciate the videos. You started using keywords everywhere with the golden ratio videos. Very cool. Very cool. And Carl, you should check. I just published 7 new KGR videos on Tuesday. They're a little faster. I get to the point. A lot of the original videos are like 2 to 4 years old. All of it still works, but I was getting so many questions like, hey, does KGR work in 2020? So-and-so said KGR would never work. So-and-so said it doesn't work anymore, or search volumes are dumb or whatever. So I reshot and redid and created new videos and new content. Even if it was sort of like a similar topic that I covered before, I put in new info. All right. As we are scrolling down, we get the Haro link building. Okay. So any others that people want me to check out in the last couple minutes here? And we had someone say, do something really competitive like laptops. So we'll do best laptop for streaming. Let's see what comes up with that. Oh, and Carl says, those are the videos that you were talking about. Those are the ones from Tuesday. So thanks for watching those. All right, best laptop for streaming, 1,700 searches and a KD of 20. And if we look over here, right, I'm going to zoom in again. I got to remember to zoom back out. So what we see is PCWorld.site, which someone's trying to capitalize on the old PC World name. We have TechGearoid, Digital Hacker, and essentially, like what I see here, the link profile strength is pretty weak, meaning they have very few links. So best laptop for streaming actually that's a pretty decent amount of searches. The trick with laptops or any kind of tech item is there's new products coming out all the time. So like you got to stay on top of it. So as we go deeper, we got the best laptop for watching movies, 17. For live streaming, all right, I just found a great niche. Who asked this question? Knock yourself out with all these keywords. Oh, Bomb 2060. Oh yeah, Bomb, you're always in these. So You're welcome. Let me know how it goes. And you know what? It could be way more competitive than it looks like. But I mean, the fact is a lot of these look like kind of new sites. I don't know if they're shitty or not. They look like newer sites and there's not much going on with them. We have Vlogger Pro, like best laptop streaming for streaming movies. So like you can see here, there's 0 links is what it's telling me here. The DA is 31, but you know, that isn't necessarily like unattainable. It just takes a little time to hit that level. All right, we got Netflix, some other stuff. Best laptop for Steam games. All right, let's see. Oh, that one's way more competitive. I guess that's like a gaming network, right? So we have best Chromebook for streaming. That could be a good one. 2,500 searches per month. So if you're actually into like Chromebooks and you know about, or whatever, like let's say you like Linux. If you're into that stuff, then it may be a great way to go. Let's do Linux. So best laptop for Linux. So 3,400 searches per month. And then we have Katie of 34 and then you're running into like a ton of potentially, I mean, it's more competitive so far, but I mean, you probably can find some low comp keywords here. So best laptop for Kali Linux, which I guess that's another distro. So that's 300 searches and 18 is a KD. So and there's a ton of distros out there. So you could probably find that. I'll find some others. Best Linux notebook. Okay. Anybody else have ideas? Best Linux for touch screens. Best Ubuntu for old laptop. Oh, that was kind of competitive. Best laptop for Linux Mint. Also kind of competitive. All right. So I think we found quite a few here. So if you dig these, definitely hit the like button so I know to do more of them. Otherwise, I will go to the gym instead, which is what I would normally do at that time of day. Dan's on also says the KGR works. You say it works all the time, but I know it doesn't always work. It's an equation, but it's one, it's one where the variables are not always 100% accurate, but it works most of the time. If you're watching the replay of this, that's very cool. The advantage to watch replays is you could watch it at like 2x speed. So the long pauses kind of go away. But if you are watching the replay, leave a comment. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you want to do me a favor, then you could watch all of those new KGR videos, like those videos, put a comment on each one. Even if you're just saying, hey, what's up? Thanks for doing these videos. Each one of the videos, share it, all that kind of stuff. Like any kind of interaction you can have with those videos is helpful. In fact, you can watch them multiple times, right? You can run there's a playlist out there. I think I linked it in the description for this video. You literally can just watch it over and over again. And that actually helps me too. There's no ads on there, by the way. I'm not earning money by you watching the videos. It's just, it helps algorithmically is what they tell me. I have not seen that yet. All right. And, Charlie says, try searching for an informational keyword. Okay. I like it. Something different. Any particular niche we're talking about, or can I dig into, let me zoom back out here. David told me that you love the live streams. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. Thanks, David. You have a good weekend too. All right, let's go back to the camper stuff. Like the thing I was Googling, I was trying to find like a, it was more, I can't remember the keyword I was looking for. It was like, it's a camper build. Camper build Ford F-150. Oh. So camper build Ford F-150, or I've just put 150, so we'll put the F in there. Oh, Odessa says a vlog of the next trail in the hills or when I go outdoors. Oh, funny enough, I recorded one where I went to St. Vrain, and I think I uploaded the videos for my editor to take care of it, but I forgot to tell her that it was there. So, all right, these are a little tougher, so I don't want to filter exactly like this, but I just want to make sure. Actually, let's reset it. We'll do camper build for trucks. Nah. Camper build. What do I want to do here? Camper build. Oh, and Charlie's actually giving me a couple here. So we have camper build, DIY, truck camper. So that was the one where I think you got something on this one, like any kind of DIY. And you could find this all over the place, by the way. So I just happened to watch those videos. My neighbor is into woodworking, and he just got some kind of expensive, very expensive tool. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. Here, let me make myself bigger here. I don't even know what tool it is that he got, but it was super heavy. I think a truck came and like delivered it from a flatbed, and then he needed help because it was so heavy to move it. And it was way heavier than I thought. He was like, yeah, it's like about a couple, either it was like 100 pounds or 200. I think it must have been 200 pounds, because I was like, all right, give me a second. I need to get my legs under me here. So, okay, DIY truck camper. And the thing is, if you put out a video, I watched I'm not even like really thinking about doing it, but I watched just videos where someone recorded with their phone. The audio kind of sucks, and they barely had a plan. Like they're just going through like a 30-day build, and I watched like 30 minutes of it. I wasn't like sitting in front of the screen and watching it like super closely, but it was on in the background where I was like, doing some other stuff. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool what they're doing. If these bozos can build one, maybe I can too. But the point is, if you actually record a video and it's kind of okay, and it's something obscure like this, people will watch it, and they're looking for some stuff that's really specific. So DIY truck camper, if I find some plans, it's probably I could adapt it for my truck most likely. But people are looking for the specific like make and model and perhaps year for their truck. And I know I'm like diving into this one area, but we have truck, DIY camper trailer designs. So even less competitive. But the thing is, like when you put this stuff together, like someone's going to be spending many hours and a lot of time like doing whatever it is. If you had like your plans and you were like, here's the trailer I bought, here's like all the gear and whatever, and here's like the solar capture and my battery system, like you're talking $1,000 or more of some of these like electronics that someone's not going to go down to the hardware store and buy like lumber or whatever. They're like getting some other stuff. So the point is, I'm diving into this camper area because it's just fresh on my mind because I watched some videos. But it could be woodworking, right? There's a bunch of woodworking channels out there. There's a guy that I knew up in Bozeman, DIY Pete. If you're into woodworking, you probably know of DIY Pete. So yeah, Bozeman's not a big town, so I bumped into him. It's a couple meetups. We had a few mutual friends, so was able to meet him and talk to him. And he has I don't know. I think his channel it's hundreds of thousands at this point. So, and we have DIY teardrop camper. So it's a specific kind. And as you can see, you can find some random stuff like informationally, and then just find, especially in this area, DIY camper van, 1900 searches. That one's probably more competitive, I bet, just because camper vans is more of a thing. DIY camper van conversion plans. So that's pretty competitive too. But one of the things I saw, and then we'll finish up on this note because I got a jet. So one thing that I noticed, I mentioned some of those lower quality videos. I ran across so many channels that had under 10 videos. One or two of those videos would have hundreds of thousands of views. We're talking like 400,000 views. And they maybe would have, I saw one guy with like, I think it was like 140 subscribers. So they are getting so many views. They're not even monetized, right? They're not monetized because the people's channels don't have enough subscribers. You have to have like enough watch time, and you have to have enough subscribers. And these people, they just put out one video that was like kind of okay, but it's so specific that it blew up. So it really blew up. All right. So I think that's it for today. Everybody have a good weekend. If you're not on the email, let's go to nichesiteproject.com, click the green button, and then enter your name and email address, and I'll send you all my templates.